Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another Wacky and Weird Wednesday here on Before Coffee. We've got some weird and wacky news, all that offbeat news that you're not seeing on your normal headlines here on the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we started. We've just had some caffeine and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's roll that segue wheel. But first, get into today's headlines.
Today's headlines.
Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Their cultural and artistic values inestimable. A suspect arrested after the theft of 8 Matisse engravings in Brazil. And a feat accomplished in 5.8 seconds. Father and son break a new world speed record in this legendary game. What is it?
Yeah. And happy Wednesday, United States, where aircraft in Gloucester crashed after 3D printed part collapsed, and trains and other transportation news. Trains canceled over a fake bridge collapse image. Also in England.
In-N-Out is removing the number 67 from its menu after being mobbed by teens due to its viral trend. And a drone delivers steak, crab legs, and a huge bag of cannabis to U.S. prisoners. Guards get there first. What a shame.
Oh no, guards having a party. Archaeologists found 115,000-year-old human footprints where they shouldn't be, and a cosmonaut is removed from SpaceX Crew 12 mission for violating national security rules. Which nation?
In my culture news, Margot Robbie in red latex, Kate Bush impersonators, and a pint of Emily Ale. A crash course in Brontë-mania.
And it's National Dewey Decimal System Day. And if you don't know what that is, it's because nobody goes to the library anymore because we're all just sitting there letting the internet feed us misinformation for December 10th. Not our show. We don't have any misinformation here. For December 10th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Let's get some coffee. During the show, before the show, whatever you want, guys. It's your life.
I need a list of 7 by tomorrow. So you can just
6, 7 or something.
No,
you don't know
7.
anything about
6,
the
7.
child slang. Don't worry about it. It's not important.
6, 7. 6, 7 adds up to 13. We know that.
Oh, I don't think that's where it came. I hope it's not where it came from.
I don't know. It's the height of LeBron James. How's that? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the actual origin.
As many.
I just know what it means, which it means hoe.
As many.
It just means hoe.
Many basketball players are 6, 7. It's name a basketball player who's 6'7". That's what it's about.
Right. Yet again, not my purview. These are not the facts I remember.
Purview. That's the University in Indiana.
I've only have so much brain. Actually, I learned you actually don't have so much brain storage. If you keep using your brain storage gets bigger. And that's why it's important you watch our show, guys. Your brain, when you learn more stuff, your brain gets bigger. So keep watching, everyone. And subscribe if you're not subscribed.
What happens when you smoke weed is you get synapses in your brains that make connections that were never going to be there before. They go, wow, I never thought of that. But of course, you immediately forget it because you're stoned. Anyway, there's your... It's a double-edged sword. You got to write it down right away, man, or it goes away.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to have a pen or a recording device or something. Because I had a great idea the night, fuck, I need a pen. I ran inside, wrote it down.
I forgot completely.
No, I wrote it down. Yeah. I got it now.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
It's got to be. Doesn't mean I'm going to finish it. It means I didn't lose the idea.
Somebody will read it one day and say, what a great idea, and give you no credit.
If you can read that hieroglyphics, well, you're there.
Well, I have pretty bad handwriting, so I'll probably be able to decipher it.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay. Bad handwriting, you can read bad handwriting? I didn't know that.
I feel like if you know someone your entire life, you just know what they you know what they're trying to say without ever actually having to read.
Considering the fact that I can't read it, I really would think it would be a challenge because I can't.
Well, we'll see. I'd have to see.
I do this every day, by the way. I write something down and I go, "What the hell did I just write?" Every day on this show, I do this. Okay, so let's have
Speaking
a wheel.
of the show, let's roll our first segue wheel for our first stories. Our first wacky news today.
Let's whack it off. I mean, get it going.
Give me a song that these stories remind you of.
Oh, there's two stories.
This first story is coming out of Brazil by Libération, a French paper, and also AFP, Agence France Presse.
Oh boy.
1 out of 2. Brazilian police announced they have arrested 1 out of the 2 men actively sought in Brazil December 9th for stealing 8 engravings by the French painter Henri Matisse and Matisse. And 5 by the Brazilian painter Cândido Portinari the previous day from a library in the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo, which was hosting an exhibition. Wow, so they're having an exhibition to show people free art, and these guys decided to steal them. The man was apprehended in downtown Sao Paulo after being identified following an investigation and analysis of CCTV footage that recorded the theft on the 8th of December, the Brazilian state government stated in a press release. The theft of the engravings took place at the Mário de Andrade Library in downtown San Francisco, Brazil, not California, but Brazil, its largest city. They overpowered a security guard and an elderly couple who were visiting the library, police stated. The 2 individuals went to the glass display case where the documents were kept. They placed them in a canvas bag and fled through the main entrance. Very brazen indeed. According to the same source, according to Brazilian news site G1, the thieves were identified by security cameras. Police confirmed the identification of one of them. Authorities have not released details about the stolen works by Matisse 1869-1954, and Portinari 1903-1962. The prints were part of the From a Book to Museum exhibition, a collaboration between the library and the Museum of Modern Art of Sao Paulo, MAM. Opened in October, the exhibition featured rare books and works from the 1940s and the 1950s. It closed on Sunday, so at least they waited for it to end before they stole everything, I guess.
All right.
According to the newspaper Folha de Sao Paulo, among the stolen works are collages of Matisse's album Jazz, published in France in 1947, of which only 300 copies exist worldwide. Their cultural and artistic value is inestimable, stated an art critic and curator Taddeo Scheralili. He would say that. He's a freaking art curator. These are invaluable. Their price, but I will take $2 billion. Quoted by the newspaper, The theft is sad. The jazz album is part of a collection of rare and fundamental books that brought Brazilian artists and researchers closer to European modernism, according to the exhibition's note. Louvre as a password out. Around 60 drawings by Henri Matisse, one of the masters of the 20th century modern art, fetched over $2.5 million at the Christie's auction in October, according to an art website, ArtNet. The record for a work by a French artist belongs to Odalisque Pouchy au Magnolias, 1923, which sold for $80.8 million in 2018 at the same auction house. The 5 stolen engravings by Cândido Portinari are one of Brazil's most celebrated painters, where illustrations from the 1959 book Menino del Engenho, according to the mayor's office, these are rare works. It's unlike anyone will buy them, expert Taddeo Scheralili pointed out. They're so rare, nobody knows what they're worth, so they can't even buy them, I think is what he's trying to say. Right? Nobody knows what they're worth, so it's going to be really hard to sell them on the market. And people will know about them as soon as you put them on the market because they know they're missing. In 2007, the painting by Portinari, The Coffee Grower, was stolen from the Museum of Art of Sao Paulo, MASP, according to their website G1. So, I guess maybe people are just not even trying to resell them, they're just buying them for the, I don't know. Does that remind you of a song?
It's a
Art
hedge
heist?
against art is a hedge against inflation. Also a good way to launder money because you're paying cash. Yeah, the song reminds me of is by Chuck Berry. C'est la vie, as in that's life.
Oh, the French, yeah. That's life.
C'est la vie.
By the way, that's what it means. That's life. What are you gonna do?
Like that. Right. I just wanted to mention a recent story. The Louvre, because I saw this the other day, I had a report on it. The Louvre had water damage the other day.
Yes,
Damaged
I saw that.
Shitload
I saw
of
that.
Egyptian antiquities, because we all know that France.
Boy, it sure was safe there in that Northern European museum. Yeah.
Yeah, we rescued these from the tomb of whatever. Now they're completely destroyed.
Waterlogged and unreadable, unlegible even.
Why you stir documents near a water pipe? I have no idea, but you're morons. Way to go, morons. Let's take all of the art out of the Louvre. They don't know how to protect it anyway. They get shit stolen, right? They don't protect the... Let's just close it down. Oh, the French are going to hate me now. C'est la vie!
C'est la vie. My next story is a little bit more lighthearted in the wacky sector. This father and son duo broke a new world record in a legendary game. What is that legendary game? I asked you during the headlines. Well, it's Hungry Hungry Hippo. Yes, the legendary game from everyone's I don't know if everyone's played it, but I feel like most people have played it. Legendary enough. Kid, David Rush, a resident of Idaho in the United States, is a well-known figure in the world of records. Oh, sorry, I didn't say what this is from. This is from La Dépêche, which is also a French newspaper. I'm not sure why a French newspaper is talking about this, but hey, we're talking about it. Let me read this article, please.
Well, thanks.
It's not letting me scroll. Okay, here we go. This is from Benoit Donadieu. David Rush, a resident of Idaho in the United States, is a well-known figure in the world of records. He holds the most simultaneous Guinness World Record titles. A few months ago, his son, Peter, challenged him to try and break a record together as a father-son duo. We sifted through the ideas, explored categories, and looked for something that was not only achievable but fun, that we could really enjoy together, David Rush shared on his social media. They ultimately settled on the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to clean the Hungry Hungry Hippo. It involves quickly gobbling up colored marbles with mechanical hippos, and it became their training ground. The duo started practicing to beat the previous record of 8.91 seconds, but they quickly realized that the title was within their grasp. The cameras were rolling, hearts were pounding, and with that familiar mix of nervousness and excitement, we launched into our official attempt. David Rush recounted, after several tries, they finally achieved the feat in just 5.8 seconds. That's almost 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're done. We finished.
Are we done? Okay.
It's Peter's very first, the father added. David Rush emphasized that his real reward lies elsewhere, and he and his son have created a memory that will outlive any record attempt. That's right. They've created their perfect father-daughter memory. Father-son memory. I've just changed the gender of their child.
No.
But that's more of your wacky news. It's quite short. I don't know it's almost 5 seconds long. It's just as short as their attempt to win Hungry Hungry Hippo.
Not a lot of songs about hippos. However, there's plenty of hip hop songs, and I decided I was gonna go. You didn't give me enough time. Otherwise, I would have been doing it. I was gonna go on AI and see if they could write me a hip hop song about hippos, which would be natural, just a natural thing to write. So even a kid's song like the Hip Hop Hippo, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So an imaginary song that it hasn't been written, but it's definitely going to be hip hop, because if you're a hippo, that's your favorite music.
I realized I didn't cheer you on your last one either. So here we go.
Yeah, I ducked that one, man. I had to dodge. Oh, hippo. Songs about hippos.
Okay, let's roll our next segue wheel for your stories.
Okay, we're gonna talk about an aircraft crashing in Gloucester, so I only have to pronounce it a few times today instead of.
I guess I'll tell a joke about it.
Right, a joke about a
your
plane
green screen
crash.
Something happened with your green screen. It fell down.
right? That's because somebody knocked at the door. Open the door. That's what happens when you open the door.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Sometimes it's like I'm living in a home. All right, let me get my green screen back up, and hopefully it's there when you retune back in here. Did you take me off blast while I was doing that? Because it's kind of embarrassing. Anyway. It's like, you heard me, right? I'm on the show. You can't hit the door. And then the door opened.
Yeah. Gotta get one of those on air.
All right, so
lights.
Did you spin the wheel? You spun the wheel, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm telling a joke about a plane crash.
A joke about a plane? Well, it's not the world's worst plane crash. Joke, it says. Okay, aircraft crashed in Gloucester, which looks like Gloucestershire, after 3D printed part collapsed, which seems like something you're just never going to try again. A plane crash. This is from, who is this from? This is from the BBC. Maisie Lillywhite, so it's a very short article. A plane crashed after a 3D printed part softened and collapsed, causing its engine to lose power, up report is found. Of course, when you're making metal, anything for parts, for anything that's mechanical, it needs to be hardened steel. You can't use some random material, right? It's got to be hardened steel that doesn't wear out or melt. A cozy Mk-4 light aircraft was destroyed after its plastic air induction elbow bought at an air show in North America collapsed. The aircraft crashed into a landing aid system at Gloucester Airport in Starverton on 18 March. This is a while ago. This is kind of the report on this. After its engine lost power, the sole occupant was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Somebody died. You can make all the jokes you want. The Air Accidents Investigation Branch said in a report that the induction elbow was made of inappropriate material and safety actions will be taken in the future regarding 3D printed parts. Following an uneventful local flight, the AAIB reports that the pilot advanced the throttle on the final approach to the runway and realized the engine had suffered a complete loss of power. Imagine that. He put in a crappy part and it didn't work. He managed to fly over a road and a line of bushes on the airfield boundary, but landed short and struck the instrument landing system before coming to rest at the side of the structure, the report read. Now the whole plane is useless. It was revealed that the part had been installed during a modification of the fuel system that collapsed due to its 3D printed plastic material softening when exposed to heat from the engine. Imagine that, plastic melting. Oh yeah, genius here. Not exactly an aircraft mechanic putting this thing together, I would say. The Light Aircraft Association, or LAA, said it now intends to take safety actions in response to the accident, including a LAA alert regarding the use of 3D printed parts that will be sent to inspectors. There's your short and sweet story about somebody just trying to do it on the cheap and almost killing themselves, but not quite. Not quite doing it. And luckily no one on the ground was hurt either, because stop being jackasses. Where's your joke? Let's have a joke about the failure of substandard parts. What do we got? Anything? Too short? You want me to go on about it?
No, I got it. I got two jokes for you.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay.
First joke is a longer one.
All right.
You're here later than usual, the bartender comments. Problems at work? Yes, just our flight was about to take off. We had to turn around and wait at the gate for an hour. What was the problem? The bartender asks. The pilot was bothered by the noise in the engine, she replies. It took us a while to find another pilot. That's why it crashed. They can the engine.
That's right. That's the old joke I said. I got rid of that noisy brakes I got in my car. Oh, well, I turned the radio up.
Just completely ignored it. Another one. Hi, folks. A plane lands and shortly after, the flight attendant comes over the speaker. Hi, folks. Sorry about the rough landing. It wasn't the captain's fault, and it definitely wasn't my fault. It was the asphalt.
Bad fun.
End joke. Yeah, good one. There you go.
All right, next story. I have two of these.
All right, give us our next
I'm
one.
going to go a bit longer one. We're going to talk about a cosmonaut being removed. Because I kind of mixed up my stories and headlines, it don't matter. I can do them in any order, right? So, Space.com has a story about a cosmonaut being removed from SpaceX's Crew 12 mission for violating national security rules. Okay, well, who's national security? Whose nation are we talking about? Probably Russia. A Russian space flyer was pulled from SpaceX's next astronaut mission for violating U.S. national security regulations, according to media report. Oh, you're a spy. Fellow cosmonaut Andrei Fedyayev recently took his place, a decision made in connection with Oleg Artemyev's transfer to another job, Roscosmos officials said today in a statement. But that's not the whole story, according to Russian investigative site The Insider. This morning, The Insider reported that Artemyev, 54, was apparently removed from the Crew 12 for violations of ITAR, the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, a U.S. law that seeks to safeguard national security by restricting the dissemination of sensitive information and technology. Boy, if we applied this to the guy sitting in the White House, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, goodness. Don't even say such a thing. That's crazy talk.
The guy that took all his classified files to his friggin' house where anybody had access to them, just wandering in the pool house. The cosmonaut allegedly photographed SpaceX documentation and used his phone to export classified information.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, you're just a straight up spy. That's it.
Straight up idiot right there.
Yeah, you're a spy. And you got caught, idiot spy. The Insider wrote in Russia, translated by Google, citing, well, may have lost something. Citing, because it's Google and I don't trust their AI very much. Citing the work of launch analyst Gregory Triskin. My contacts confirmed that a violation occurred and an interdepartmental investigation has been launched, Triskin told The Insider. Removing someone from a mission 2.5 months before the mission without a clear explanation is more of an indirect sign, but it's indicative. It's very difficult to imagine a situation in which an experienced cosmonaut could inadvertently commit such a gross violation. Yeah, you don't inadvertently take pictures of classified information. Oh, I accidentally had my phone on and accidentally bumped the little thing on there. And oh, no, there's a picture and I can't delete it. There's no way. The Insider also cited on Sunday a report by the Russian spaceflight channel Telegram called Yura Forgive Me. According to that report, the violations occurred last week when Artemyev was training at SpaceX's headquarters in Hawthorne, California. He allegedly photographed SpaceX engines and other sensitive tech with his phone. Yeah, he's a spy. The Crew 12 is the 12th operational astronaut mission that SpaceX will fly to the ISS under contract with NASA. Space.com reached out to SpaceX. Space.com, the name of this website, and NASA for comment about the Artemyev situation, but has not heard back. Yeah, they're not going to tell you anything. Artemyev has spent a total of 560 days in space across 3 long-duration missions to the ISS, which launched on March 2014, March 2018, and March 2022. He loves going to space in March. The last flight lifted off just a month after Russia invaded Ukraine, kicking off a war that continues to this day. So, yeah, he's probably involved in that up to his elbows or his eyes and everything. Probably his family's being held in some place where they're just, oh, yeah, you're going to get this information. Probably, right? This is Putin we're talking about. In July 2022, Roscosmos posted photos of Artemyev and 2 of his cosmonaut colleagues on the ISS holding the flags of 2 Russian-backed separatist territories in Ukraine. NASA and the head of the European Space Agency condemned the photo op, stressing that the orbiting labs should not be used for platform for wartime propaganda. Yeah, fuck this piece of shit. All right, I really hate this guy now. Crew 12 is scheduled to launch no earlier than February 15th. Well, it's not March. He can't go. It's not in March. It will send Fedyayev, ESA's Sophie, the European Space Agency's Sophie Adenot, and 2 as yet unnamed astronauts to the ISS for roughly 6 months stay. Michael Walls, a senior space writer for Space.com, and joined the team in 2010. He primarily covers exoplanets, spaceflight. Oh, this is the author's name. That's the end of the story. I'm just reading his biography. Okay, there's your story about the cosmonaut. Cosmonaut being
ruining everyone's fun. It takes one person to poison the barrel, you know. I'm just gonna break international laws.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Again, when you're picking political sides and you're just there to be a scientist, you need to go. Bye. I don't want my astronauts, by the way, even if I agree with them.
Yeah.
Putting shit up there for politics, right? The only thing any astronaut should do is be singing that song Space Oddity by David Bowie. That's the only thing you should ever do that's not scientific, okay? All right.
Okay, I have some more jokes for you about this.
Hope so.
First joke. Why were the classified documents crying? Did they say?
No.
I guess they must be very sensitive information.
Oh.
And this joke is for you.
Okay.
A boy broke into the White House and wrote on the wall, "Trump is full of it." He got caught and faced 45 years for unauthorized release of classified information. Everyone knows he's full of shit, but that's classified.
Right. The old joke about the space. The old joke about we don't put an ethnicity on there. I just say I had an uncle who was really stupid, but he was an astronaut, and he was in the space shuttle, not the space shuttle. Yeah, it was a space shuttle or space station a bunch of years ago with another astronaut. The astronaut he was with went up for a spacewalk. He was out there for about an hour, 2 hours, and when it was time to come back on the in the space capsule, he knocked on the door, and my uncle said, "Who is it?" That's the joke.
Yeah, I was sorry, there's a bit of a delay, so I had to try to time the badumps.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll our next segue for my stories, which are about food, I think. Yes, they're both about food. That's why I put them together.
Good. Okay. Let's have a spin. What do we get?
You spin my wheel right round to a non sequitur for this story.
Oh boy.
Non sequitur.
That's easy. Non sequitur.
This first story is coming out of Los Angeles, in which they have an In-N-Out in LA has decided to remove number 67 from its menu due to all the teens going 67 into their freaking drive-thru. This is by Amber Rakin, who's actually in New York on The Independent. An In-N-Out burger employee has stopped using the number 67 to announce customer orders after the viral 67 trend brought a swarm of teens into the restaurant. The West Coast burger chain has removed the number 67 or 67 entirely from its ordering system. An employee at LA In-N-Out restaurant confirmed to the news and to People, noting that the number was banned from this ticket system a month ago. In addition, the number 69 was removed from the ordering system. That should have been 10 years ago. That should have been removed. The Independent has contacted a representative of In-N-Out for comment, but they haven't come back from anything. The fast food chain removed the number 67 as kids and teens are taking part in the viral 6'7" slang trend, most popular among Gen Alpha kids. The term comes from the rapper Skrilla's song Doot Doot 6'7", which references a 6'7" basketball player, so you're right. That is the original origin. It's about a basketball player. The phrase, spoken as 6'7", is usually blurted out when 6 and 7 are mentioned together.
Yeah.
So
broke the code. I'm a code breaker, folks. There you go.
And so you are 27. You actually are 27.
I am 20. That's right. You can't.
In October, a viral video posted by Barstool Sports on TikTok showed a mob of teenagers waiting at the corner of an In-N-Out restaurant as customers' orders were announced. The teens had their phones in hand, ready to film the In-N-Out employee when he excitedly announced the order number 67 as 6'7". The young customers responded to the viral slang reference by jumping up and down and cheering. Well, at least they're having fun. I don't know. Kids were having fun, so we removed the number from our menu. Okay. God damn those kids having a fun time. Earlier this month, In-N-Out customers also noticed the employees stopped using the number 67 to call out orders. While I was at work yesterday, I noticed that every time I would get to number 66, and to get to the next comer, it would just go to number 68 and would skip 67, one person who appeared to be an In-N-Out employee wrote on Reddit. In the comments, fellow Reddit users explained why the number 67 could have been removed from In-N-Out's ordering system. Viral 67, all the kids are yelling these days. My In-N-Out also skips this after a while. Kids kept making a commotion when the number was called. It's like 1 second of commotion, guys. These guys are just dead inside, right? These kids are having fun! Oh, we can't say a number anymore! How stupid!
Yeah.
Another person on Reddit said, hopefully that dumb 6-7 shit dies everywhere soon. You know how what would make it die?
Who cares?
Not censoring yourself. Continuing to do it
Exactly.
and just not caring about the actions of children having some fun.
Learn something from the Emu Wars. If you learn nothing from the Emu Wars, learn that you're not going to accomplish anything through
censorship.
Coercion or violence or censorship. Yeah. You're just going to be feeding the thing that you're trying to destroy.
Yeah, they're just gonna come back stronger. Whereas if you just ignore it and just let it get, ride the waves, you won't have to change anything.
And don't feed the gremlins after midnight. You need to learn these lessons. Right?
In the song Doot Doot 67, where the meme originated from, Skrilla sings, "The way that I switch, I know he dying. 6-7, I just bipped right on the highway." The song went on to gain popularity through viral videos and memes featuring NBA player LaMelo Ball. Since the phrase has largely been used by the younger crowd, teachers have said it has become a classroom distraction. Some educators are imposing consequences from point deductions to essays for students who use the term. I've been teaching for 20 years and I've dealt with all sorts of slang. Nothing has driven me crazier than this one. Yeah, because it's 2 numbers. It's really hard to avoid the number 6 and number 7.
Wow, what a bunch of losers.
Yeah, these people need to get a life. Adria Laplander, a 6th grade language art teacher in Michigan, told Today.com in October. Oh, the tragedy. Everyone up in the air, arms in the air. Oh, it's all over for society because children found a new trend. Anyways, it's like avocado toast, or the millennials destroy another capitalist market because they don't care about it, and it's bullshit. But there's your story. Give me a non sequitur.
I guess a non sequitur. I guess I had one a minute ago. Was it? Yeah, I got a non sequitur, which is kind of a joke. You're talking about the 69 being banned?
Yes.
What's the square root of 69?
I actually have no idea. 420?
8 something.
8 something.
Anyway, that's accurate too.
69 times 69.
No. The square root of 69. Get it? The square
sorry,
root.
Dividing it. You're right. I'm sorry, not dividing it. But yeah.
Not dividing it. The square root. Man, it's the last long time you've been in math class.
When's the last time I did math? 20 years ago, I think.
I don't know. Square root. 8 times 8 is 64. So
Remind you that I failed pre-calc.
Okay, you ruined the joke by not knowing what the square root meant. But hey, just laugh and go move on.
I give you your laugh. I give you a cheer. My next story is about the worst Christmas gift ever for prisoners in, I don't actually know what country or what state. Sorry, it's in the U.S. This is by Rich Booth on The Independent. A festive drone delivery of steak, cannabis, and crab legs has been intercepted at a South Carolina prison, sparking an investigation into the luxury attempted delivery. Come on, it's Christmas. Let them have some weed. The illicit package, also containing cigarettes and Old Bay seasoning. Not Old Bay seasoning, that's the worst crime of all! Seasoned crab legs was discovered by a guard in the yard of Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville.
We're going to have crabs in prison.
Yeah, the South Carolina Department of Corrections confirmed the incident on social media platform Twitter using the hashtag #ContrabandChristmas. A photograph released by the authorities showed the raw steak still in its supermarket packaging, alongside crab legs, Old Bay, plastic baggies of marijuana, and several cartons of cigarettes. Wow, what a haul! That is it's not a big container of Old Bay either. It's like the smaller ones, the smaller shakeable ones.
Who's the snitch?
Freaking, yeah, somebody... Oh, Mr. Officer, I found some steak in the yard today. The drone responsible for the drop was also seized on Sunday morning, which would have been the 7th of December, prisoner officials have launched an investigation, though no arrests have yet been made. Who cares, dude? We're gonna arrest somebody for giving out steak and crab legs. Fuck you. I hate society. I'm guessing the inmates were expecting the package are crabby. A prison spokeswoman, Christy Shane, said, Shut up. These people are imprisoned. Keeping contraband out of state prisons is a constant battle. People would toss or use catapults to get packages of cell phone, drugs, or other illegal items over the perimeter fence until officials raised the fences and added a netting to the top. People trying to smuggle things behind bars moved on to drones, leaving correction officials to constantly patrol the prison yard and just outside for the tiny aircraft trying to drop packages. Just flying a drone near a prison in South Carolina is a misdemeanor crime that carries up to 30 days in jail. That's not too bad. That's worth. I think that's worth it. Dropping contraband into the prison is a felony. Oh, come on. Just some crab legs. Okay, I understand the weed. Sure, because we're still weird about weed. Fine. No one's allowed to get high in prison, whatever. You can use that as some sort of internal economy. It breaks up the internal economy of the prison. Same with cigarettes. But give everyone a crab leg and some steak. I don't know, whatever. Dropping contraband in the prison is a felony that can land someone behind the bars for 10 years. I hope they never find the drone operator. Earlier this year, it was reported that drones have been used to deliver a broad range of lifestyle products to UK prisons. These include weight loss medication and hair loss treatments. The UK's chief prison inspector, Charlie Taylor, said fleets of drones, this is in the UK, right, not even in the United States, now routinely surpassing security systems and represent a new paradigm for the prison system. Not least because of the fact that prisoners are able to take delivery of items in this way and could pose a major security threat. I guess you have to start getting anti-air missiles outside your prisons to shoot them down. Pew! Pew! Local technologies such as What 3 Words have improved delivery accuracy, while the drones themselves have become increasingly advanced and capable of delivering ever larger packages, sometimes weighing as much as 10 kilograms. Here's an idea. If a lot of prisons are for profit, especially in the United States, how about you just let people pay to send contraband into the prisons? There you go. You'll make money off of it. Well, whatever. Who cares? I know some of these people are probably rapists and murderers and pedophiles, but it's just it's some steak and crab legs, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be deprived of a lot of things, but I'm just saying, crab legs a little bit.
I mean, I don't know if it was last Wednesday or the Wednesday before, but we did have a story about the guy. I think you have a story even. The guy who was suing the government because he wasn't being given his cultural heritage, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a few months ago, yeah.
Yeah, was it in New Zealand or Australia?
Vegemite sandwich! Vegemite!
Yeah. It's like, hey, you're not giving me my cultural heritage. I'm not allowed to get my cultural practices done and my food and whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't... Right.
But he also, got rid of a realtor, so that was his crime. Anyways.
Let's not rip on realtors too much.
Is
that the story?
Yeah, that was the end of the story. Sorry,
okay.
it just reminded me of that other story from a couple months back.
We were talking about Australia earlier for some reason. Oh, we were talking about emu. And we're talking about it started as a penal colony, which a lot of South Carolina and North Carolina too, right? Because of the first Jacobite rebellions in the UK in the 1700s. They would capture their prisoners of war and send them to Canada or Australia or New Zealand or South Carolina.
Really?
And South Carolina, North Carolina and South Carolina. Yeah. There's a bunch of stewards. I've traced a bunch of stewards, and I found out. I was just trying to find out if they're related to me, right? So I traced a bunch of stewards to these actual ships they were on and where they landed, right? And they actually kept records of all these prisoners and how they ended up in the United States, but they were not immigrants. They were just, we don't want you rebelling against us anymore. Go to South Carolina and disappear into the swamp. So, that's your long non sequitur. Yikes.
It's a nice history lesson, though.
And of course, there was another Jacobite revolution or rebellion in 1745, and the same thing happened. They just sent more prisoners to Canada, United States, Australia, wherever. Barbados, who fucking knows, right?
Barbados.
Somewhere out. No, they sent a lot to the Caribbean. They were due to the Caribbean, some of them, and they ended up in
Go
America
suffer in the heat.
because of the
For
ship.
how dare you want Scotland to be free? Yes.
There's a few stories where they were destined to go to like sugar plantations down in the Caribbean and be slaves as, indentured servants. And hurricanes came along back in the day when they didn't name hurricanes, and they're like, shit, we can't go to the Caribbean. And they just said wherever. Well, South Carolina's good enough. Yeah. So that's kind of how they ended up there. Anyway, it's an interesting story. I've been doing a lot of reading on it.
For your story, the emu.
All righty.
What are you doing again? I'll gotta get you a bad pun. I'm just a jokester today.
Punning.
Big old jokester.
All right. Let's put punnage so I forget. Pun. P-U-N. Okay, this is going to talk about more transportation in England, which tomfoolery going on here. This is BBC.com. Zoe Toast, not Toast, T-O-A-S-E. Trains canceled over fake bridge collapse image. Yeah, we're a little bit nervous about our trains crashing. We don't want that, so we take great care, but we don't need pranksters doing shit like this. Trains were halted after a suspected AI-generated picture that seemed to show major damage to a bridge appeared on social media following an earthquake. The tremor, which struck on Wednesday night, that would be last week, was felt across Lancashire and the Southern Lake District. Network Rail said it was made aware of the image, which appeared to show major damage to the Carlisle Bridge in Lancaster at 0300 or 12:30 a.m. Greenwich Mountain Time, and stopped rail service Greenwich Mean Time, not Greenwich Mountain Time, sorry. Greenwich Mean Time, and stopped rail service across the bridge while safety inspections were carried out. A BBC journalist ran the image through the AI chatbot, which identified key spots that may have been manipulated. Network Rail said the railway line was fully reopened at around 2 a.m. and has urged people to think about the serious impact it could have before creating and sharing hoax images. The disruption caused by the creation and sharing of hoax images and videos like this creates a completely unnecessary delay to passengers and cost to the taxpayer. It adds high workload to our frontline teams who work extremely hard to keep the railway running smoothly, the spokesperson said. The safety of rail passengers and staff is the number one priority. We will always take any safety concerns seriously. The British Transport Police says it was made aware of the situation, but there's no ongoing investigation into the incident. Well, you know what though? You don't have to shut anything down because somebody posted a picture, do you? Right? You can always investigate that first. But they're being safe. Network Rail said 32 services, including passenger and freight trains, were delayed because of the hoax. That's hard to believe it. Midnight to 2 a.m.? How many trains are even running at that time?
There's some night trains that run just to get people. Like the last train will leave at like 12, and then it'll keep going. That'll be like the last train.
That's why that night train wine is so cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got formaldehyde in it. Night train. The best wine you can buy for under $1. Network Rail said 32 services, including passenger freight trains, were delayed because of the hoax. Spokesperson said the rail provider said a mix of passenger freight train would have been impacted. Oh yeah, freight trains. Don't forget about freight trains. They said some of them would have been directly stopped or slowed while it checked the lines, but a lot of the trains were delayed. As a result, earlier services still being in their path. The spokesperson said many of them would have been local, but because of the length of the West Coast main line, some trains were delayed as far north as Scotland. Railway expert Tony Miles said due to the timing of the incident, very few passengers will have been impacted by the hoax, as the services passing through at the time are primarily freight and sleeper trains. What's a sleeper train? You just go to sleep and they give you a sedative and you don't have to go through that ordeal. They just wake you up when you're done. You're here now. Thank you. That's what I want. I want to be asleep if it's overnight on a train. There's nothing to see, right? They generally go slow as to not disturb the passengers trying to sleep. This means they have a lot of leeway to go faster and make up time if they encounter a delay. That's true. It's more the fact that the National Rail will have had to mobilize a team to go check the bridge, which could impact their work for days. Actually, you know what? If there is a tremor, right, and you think there might be damage, Might be a good idea to check all your railroad bridges and trestles, right? He urged people to consider hoaxes like this could have on real people. If they actually did delay the train, it could have impacted someone who had to get medical appointment or a flight or a funeral. Oh my God, it's an emergency. I got to get to a funeral. I've never heard of that emergency, but hey. Oh my God, they're only going to be dead for so long. I better get there. I may seem like a game, but anyone thinking of doing this should consider how it will impact real people. It may seem like a game. It's not a game. Where's your, what is it you call here? A pun. Let's have a pun. There's
okay, I have a lot of jokes and puns all over here.
Oh boy, let's not go. Let's go crazy.
Because there's so many different. It's
puns.
A prank, right? It's a prank. It's a bridge. There's trains. There's so many different options. My first one is, whoa, that story really picked up steam.
And
in Australia, they
call
old people and then just say "Okay, boomer" and hang up. It's getting so popular. It has a name, a boomerang.
What?
Australia, boomerang.
Got it. Okay.
What do you call it when you prank a person on Sunday?
Don't know.
A sabotage. Anyways, we probably should keep our schedule on track.
All right, let's do it. One more story.
Aren't you glad I said that?
Oh boy, let me get back to the soundboard. Laugh. There.
Is that your only story, by the way? No, that was your second story.
Oh, I got the one about archaeologist, as you said, archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
Popular mechanics. Carolyn Delbert, not that cartoon with the weird guy, the psychotic Trump guy who decided to lose his mind years ago. Carolyn Delbert has a story from Popular Mechanics. Archaeologists found 115-year-old footprints where they shouldn't be. Fossilized footprints in Saudi Arabia show human traffic on the cusp of a subsequent ice age. Like carbon dating, scientists use isotopes and context clues to calculate the approximate age of fossils. A uniquely preserved prehistoric mud hole could hold the oldest ever human footprints on the Arabian Peninsula, scientists say. The 7 footprints, found amidst a clutter of hundreds of prehistoric animal prints, are estimated to be 115,000 years old. Many fossil and artifacts windfalls have come from situations like this, especially special lake bed in northern Saudi Arabia. The archaeologists uncovered the site deep in the Nufed Desert at a location nicknamed the Trace in Arabic in 2017, after time and weather wiped out the underlying sediment away. It's easy to imagine that the muddy lake bed was a high traffic area in the Arabian Peninsula over 100,000 years ago. When populations move on, these prints are left behind until they're covered over. In the far, far older Burgess Shale event, some of the oldest organisms ever found were preserved intact because they likely fell into a mudslide and were killed instantly. An entire armored nodosaur was found. Armored nodosaur? Nodosaur, I believe is some kind of a dinosaur, was found in a unpredictably good shape because it was encased in mud and in the cold of the ocean floor. If there were a finder's fee for incredible archaeology, a lot of would have been paid to mud. Okay. In their paper, the scientists actually examined why the ancient mud was so special at all. An experimental study of modern human footprints in mud flats found that fine details were lost within 2 days and prints were rendered unrecognizable within 4. And similar observations have been made for other non-hominin mammal tracks. That means they're special. Tiny batch of preserved footprints. They're made in unique conditions that also form a kind of fingerprint for pinning them to the same time frame. From there, scientists started to look for who made the footprints. Homo sapiens weren't the only upright humanoid primate in the game. Apparently there's a game going on at the time. But the evidence, the scientists say, suggests that we were ones traipsing through the dying lake bed. Yeah, they were just traipsing. I don't know what that means, traipsing. 7 hominid footprints were confidently identified and given the fossil and archaeological evidence for the spread of H. sapiens, Homo sapiens. into the Levant and Arabia during this era, which is 130,000, 80,000 years ago, and the absence of Homo neanderthalis from the Levant at the time, we argue that Homo sapiens was responsible for the tracks at Al-Athar. In addition, the size of the Al-Athar footprints is more consistent with those of early Homo sapiens species than Neanderthals. The lake that forms Al-Athar today was likely part of a prehistoric highway that drew all the large animals in the area, forming a corridor dotted by freshwater rest areas. Living things could travel in a migrated weather and changing climate. In this case, scientists found very little other factors that accompany prehistoric human travel, like knife or tool marks on animal bones indicating hunting. The lack of archaeological evidence suggests that the Al-Athar Lake was only briefly visited by people, the scientists conclude. These findings indicate that transient lakeshore used by humans during a dry period of the last interglacial was likely primarily tied to the need for potable water. Or potable water, as it actually should be pronounced. The Homo sapiens could be the last ones on their way through a temperate place and an impending ice age descends. That would also explain why their tracks weren't tracked over by another group, at least not before an entire fresh layer of sediment accumulated. And there's a lot of pictures and a lot of links here, and boy, we're just scrolling down to a picture. Yeah, that's the end of the article. So when they say this article is 7 to 8 minutes, they were telling me a big old fib. That's good though. We didn't have to waste a time and a lot of minutia. Oh.
That's true.
A lot of pictures
really cool,
on this.
It's really cool that we can find evidence like that, just, captured in mud. A man was in court against another man who had trespassed on his property while freshly laid asphalt was drying, leaving a footprint. For some reason, the judge was in favor of the trespasser. The man slammed his hand down on the table and said, "But I have concrete proof!"
Oh, I'll laugh. I was delayed.
Hey, Watson, is that mud on your shoes? No shit, Sherlock.
Yo,
and finally,
Sherlock.
when is being ankle deep in the mud worse than being waist deep? When you're upside down. You do not want to be ankle deep upside down in the mud. There you go. These are mud and footprint jokes.
All right, let's do the next story. Let's do it. I gotta send you a video.
Let's roll my segue or your segue for my culture news.
All right. Okay, let's do it. I gotta send you a video. I just remembered I forgot.
All right, it's a pun off. Now it's your turn to do some puns. Okay. And you can do multiple because this will be a long story, even when I cut it down. I think.
Okay.
In my culture news, we're going to talk about the Wuthering Heights fandom, or as this author is calling it, Brontë-mania. This is on The Guardian by Holly Richardson. It's a crisp afternoon in Holworth, West Yorkshire, and she's drinking a pint of Emily Brontë beer in the King's Arms.
Pint.
Other Bronts are on tap, and is a traditional ale. Charlotte an IPA, Branwell a porter, but the barman says Emily, an amber ale with a malty biscuit flavor, is the most popular. It's the obvious choice today anyway. In a few hours, Oscar-winning filmmaker Emerald Fennell will be at the Brontë Women's Writing Festival in a church just up the road, discussing her adaptation of Emily's 19th century Gothic masterpiece, Wuthering Heights. The film, to be released just before Valentine's Day next year, is already scandal-ridden. It all started with the Fennell's casting of Hollywood stars Jacob Elordi and Margot Heathcliff. It's Margot Robbie, causing an uproar. An erotic teaser trailer full of tight bodices, cracking whips, and sweaty bodies had the same effect, but heads were really sent spinning by reports of a scene with a public hanging and a nun who fondles the corpse visible erection. Wow, that's a lot of controversy. Such a wild response was only to be expected. As she drinks up and steps out the cobbled streets of the village, built on a hill, Wuthering Heights' potency is still palpable in Hawthorne. When When Diane Park moved to Hawthorne a decade ago, she had only read Charlotte's Jane Eyre. Today she reads one of Emily's poems to her on a shop floor. Hope, whose whisper would have given balm to all frenzied pain. How did she feel when she first read Wuthering Heights? I was blown away by Emily's insight into the soul. The world was scandalized when Emily published Wuthering Heights under a male pseudonym in 1847. It is the story of a fiery Catherine Earnshaw and her relationship with outcast orphan Heathcliff, in whom she finds her match as they roam the Yorkshire moors. He's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, and his mind and mine are the same. When Catherine marries Edgar Linton and dies, it sets haunted Heathcliff on a path of vengeance, as the second half of the novel becomes a story of control, abuse, and digging up graves. While some critics admired the unique strangeness, many echoed one review that said, "The reader is shocked, disgusted, and almost sickened by details of cruelty, inhumanity, and the most diabolical hate." It didn't stop Wuthering Heights from becoming a classic. I even had to read it in high school myself. It was made into a silent movie in the 1920s, with locals crowding around the shoot in Hawthorne and playing extras. The story later moved to Hollywood studio and enjoyed the romanticized Golden Age treatment with Laurence Olivier and Merle Oberon, minus the more romanticized Golden Age, minus the more problematic second act, where he chases after his beloved's daughter, basically, right? You need to read the book. And at least 15 big and small screen adaptations have followed since, from Yoshike Yoshida's 1988 retelling in medieval Japan to Andre Arnold's 2011 version with James Hawson as the first black actor to play Heathcliff, which a lot of people consider Heathcliff to be someone of color, not a white guy, but for some reason he's the first brown person, black person to play Heathcliff, even though a lot of people consider him to have been brown in the book. The main criticism levied against the casting of Elordi is that Heathcliff is widely considered to be not white in the books. It was the BBC's full story 1967 series starring Ian McShane and a brooding Heathcliff that inspired Kate Bush to write her otherworldly hit, which brought Wuthering Heights into every home. I just managed to catch the very last few minutes, where there was a hand coming through the window and blood everywhere in glass, she said, admitting she wrote the song before reading the book. So why does the story of a passionate ravaged lovers on a rain-ravaged moor have such a hold? I think Wuthering Heights endures because the relationship between Kathy, Heathcliff, and Edgar aren't easy to quantify, says author Juno Dawson, grew up in Bingley and calls the Brontë the pride of Yorkshire. Dawson was inspired by Wuthering Heights to write a short story for an anthology called I Am Heathcliff. They don't fit in the traditional notion of a romance novel or a ghost story, she continues. And each character is frustrating, unfathomable. If there's something I've taken from it, it's that ambiguity can be as satisfying as neat resolution. That's true, the story is very just ambiguous in general, like, we don't know what really happens. This is actually the author's third visit, or pilgrimage, to the parsonage with their mum. It just keeps pulling her back. Today they learned that the trees in the garden, separating it from the graveyard, only grew after the Brontë time there. So the family would have had views of death on one side and endless moors on the other. The rooms are quite claustrophobic, and downstairs is where they wrote their novels, on a table that has an E etched onto it for Emily. In the corner is the sofa on which Emily died, most likely of tuberculosis at just 30. The life expectancy in Haworth was a mere 24, so she lived longer than the average, partly due to the overcrowded graveyard contaminating the drinking water. Gross. Such details from this past still feel compelling in the present, especially when it comes down to the author of Wuthering Heights. Down the hill, a record shop with "Never Mind the Brontë" poster is just one of the many nods to the local celebrities. Other windows boast a lampshade made from book pages and paintings of the moors. Authors live locally or come to stay for writing retreats, says Park. There's that creative feeling in Haworth, but does the Brontë effect have any impact on local culture in ways beyond the obvious? It runs deeper, says Park. With things such as the nature sculptures and a nearby Penistone Hill County Park, part of Bradford's year as the city of culture, it feels like Emily is in the heather and the trees. You just breathe the air, and wuthering refers to weather, and I just feel she's left her print here. But it's not just about tourism. Last month's Wandering Imagination project, we saw 2 young authors from Bradford and 2 from Ghana writing stories inspired by the Brontë sibling fictitious African kingdom Angria. We're here for the people that live here, says York. The society has just acquired a new building on the main street, where it will focus on opportunities for local people to get closer to their heritage. She hopes to further instill the sense of pride in something on your doorstep, something people across the world think is worth visiting. The event that ticks all the Brontë boxes, though, is the most Wuthering Heights Day ever, which is held every July 27th. Hundreds of people dressed in floaty red dresses come together in spots around the nation to sing and dance to Kate Bush's song. The previous summer, or last summer, at Pennystone Hill, it doubled as a campaign to protect top withens, thought to be the inspiration for the fictional windswept farmhouse that gives the novel its name, from a planned wind farm development. Of course, the beautiful Brontë country isn't just for literary nerds. This has also been a rugged paradise for hikers and fell runners. The Tour de France, pedaled through here in 2014, inspired the Tour de Yorkshire. A moody walkway behind the personage leads to a waterfall named after the sisters, as they were said to spend time there. That magical feeling just gets stronger as you stomp around, retracing their tiny footsteps. These heather-laden moles, says Pock, call to you as you might, as they did to Emily, who roamed as free as Cathy. Perhaps that is why she also did the dirty with the book's second half, dropping it and sticking it to the love story. This may have been a missed opportunity to explore Heathcliff with more nuance, although it's impossible to say at this point, but there is a call for more exploration at the novel's highly debated and complicated relationship with race. Emily, who was well-read and wrote in the years after the abolition of slavery in the UK, and Heathcliff is found with no owner in Liverpool. Still, the film is Fennel's version. It's very personal for everyone, she says, but I can't make something that for everyone. No one is in agreement about any element of it. Fennel certainly isn't scared to shock, but Dawson is unconcerned. If anyone's going to do it, I'm glad it's Fennel, says the author. She's a director who isn't afraid of actually to adapt, rather than photocopy from book to screen. As the author walked to their car in the dark, sounds now enveloping the village and the moors. They remembered something Park told them about Emily. The poetry gets so deep into your soul, into your heart, and I can't express how alive it makes you feel. So there is the wackiness of 2 sisters, one who creates a quite raunchous book, right, was very critically acclaimed at the time, and that creates an entire tourist economy around this town, right, for years after her death. People would go there and dress up as Catherine, and probably dance to dance to a Kate Bush song. The fandom of Wuthering Heights.
Right. Yep. I guess we could stop beating around the bush and get to the real story, huh? As we talk. There's my pun. Thank you. That's my only pun. That was a tough one to come up with. All the puns about Heathcliff involved the candy bar, and they were really hard to pull off.
Yeah. not a great. He wasn't exactly a humorous figure in literature, so.
Yeah, he was getting it on with the girl who was forbidden, right? They're both forbidden.
Yeah, all because she represented her mother. You know, that must be so creepy for somebody, you know? You look just like your mom, who died tragically, so I'm going to try to date you now.
Okay. Was there another story, or are we going on?
No, that's it. That story was long enough, I think. Let's roll our segue wheel.
All right. You got yourself a video I sent you just now, and we're to this day in history. Oh, it's
okay,
Bobby
I'll give
Flay's
you
birthday.
some more jokes. Now, I'll give you some sarcasm. Let's not do some more jokes.
It's funny you talked about Emily. Is it Emily Brontë? Is that her first name?
Emily Brontë. It has
Brontë.
Yeah, it's the E
Brontë.
with the 2 dots. What are they called again?
I've always pronounced it Brontë, but I don't know. Anyway, it's also a birthday of somebody else named Emily. Emily Dickinson's birthday, the famous poet. So there you go. At 10:41 on this day. Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, did you spin? Sorry.
Yes, I did. I got sarcasm.
Sarcasm. All right, let's do that. I'll remember. 10:41, Michael V. caliphates ascended to the throne of the Byzantine Empire following the death of Michael IV. Real creative names they got for people. Michael IV. Michael. I always like these. I was watching The Crown, right?
Yeah.
And then I went back and started watching another one called Victoria. The one about Queen Victoria when she became queen, and all these men are like, "You must take a different name than Victoria. That's not a queen's name." And she's like, "I'm keeping my name."
Get off my case, assholes. What do you know about being a queen? None of you are even close to being queen.
Yeah, right. It was usually the people that were, ancillary, the cousins,
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you. Wait, ain't I the boss? Anyway, 1508, Pope Julius II, the Holy Roman Empire, Maximilian I, Louis XII of France, and Ferdinand II of Aragon formed the League of the Cambrai. And I don't know if they played jousting tournaments or what they did, but they formed a league. Maybe they played soccer. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that was it. They played football in 1508. No, I think the big sport back then was jousting, to tell you the truth. 1768, the first part of the first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, celebrating serial killers since 1768. The oldest English.
Congratulations.
Published and advertised for sale in Edinburgh, and immediately started publicizing killers for some reason. I'm just joking. 1815. On this day, Ada Lovelace was born in what is today London, often considered the first computer programmer. Holy shit. Anyway, she was born this day in London, so she would be 210 if she was around.
And women can't do anything, they say.
That's right. She was Ada, and she loved lace. Her name was Lovelace. Where do you get a name like Lovelace from? That's just a weird name to come up with. Oh, Lovelace. Let's take that name. Weird, right? I love lace. Everybody loves lace, don't they? 1851, Melville Dewey, who devised the Dewey Decimal classification for library cataloging. United States doesn't have libraries anymore unless you want to independently fund them, because most people are knowledge. Oh shit, not knowledge. Get it away from me. I want internet answers, to easy answers to complex problems for the internet. That's all I want. That's our entire society now. Anyway, there's things called libraries. A lot of people haven't heard of them, and they have a way to classify them.
You can get a card, and they let you rent DVDs and stuff, and use their computers. Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
Sorry, I'm being sarcastic Wi-Fi, this whole entire time.
You know what? Librarians will even do the research for you. They just got nothing better to do. That's their job. And again, people just take them for granted and go, "Oh, library, yeah, what's that? The library."
Why am I an idiot? Maybe you don't go out there to learn stuff. Do you ever think about that?
Anybody that thinks libraries are boring are not my kind of person. You are a fool. You're just a fool.
They're supposed to be boring.
And you think you know everything. Right? Yeah, exactly.
They're a community center. They're supposed to be a peaceful place to learn and educate, and
If you don't like libraries, you need to stay far, far, far away from me. Move to the other side of the country, because I don't have any time for you.
You should not be having chaotic parties at libraries, okay? That's not what they're for.
I don't need libraries. I got the internet. Oh yeah, that's right. The internet's full of facts. Sure it is. You just got to figure out what they are from all the misinformation. And as a matter of fact, in libraries, they do not put misinformation in libraries, right?
Yeah.
If it's a skilled library, anyway. You're not going to find a whole lot of right-wing novels in libraries. It's like, oh yeah, here's some, maybe in the comic book section. Anyway, Melville Dewey in 1851 came up with a way to catalog everything by category in a decimal system. So if it has a number before it and a bunch of zeros and stuff, and I used to know that stuff, but it became...
And you can always find a book if you know how to use the Dewey Decimal System.
Catalog. Yeah. Exactly, and it's big numbers on the end of each bookshelf. At the end of each row, it says 1001 through 1099. You go, okay, there's my
These
books
are all
in
books
there.
about history, and I'm going to know that because that's why they're under there. Yeah.
In 1884, speaking of books, Mark Twain's classic novel Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was first published, appearing in the United Kingdom and Canada, was released in the United States the following year. I wonder why it took that long to release the United States. It wasn't because they had the N-word, because that wasn't banned in 1884, so that wasn't it. 1898, representatives of, by the way, Huckleberry Finn banned in the United States in many, many places because of the N-word, which is, unfortunate that people used it, but it is part of history. And you can't just pretend it didn't happen. It's silly. 1898, representatives of Spain and the United States signed the Treaty of Paris, concluding the Spanish-American War, which somehow involved the Philippines. I don't understand that at all, but Philippines, way on the other side of the world, the United States said, hey, let's take a flyer. Let's go out there. So the Spanish-American War concluded in 1898. 1901, the first Nobel Prize was distributed, marking the 5th anniversary of the death of Alfred Nobel, the Swedish industrialist, inventor of dynamite. No, it wasn't Jimmy Walker, it wasn't Kid Dynamite, it was Alfred Nobel, who founded and endowed the awards through his will. He left an endowment in his will and said, good Lord, I made a lot of money off destruction. Let's try to do something for peace. Good for him. 1909, Swedish author Selma Lagerlöf, I think it's Lagerlöf, became the first woman to receive the Nobel Prize. It only took 8 years.
Woohoo!
Think about that.
Today's for women, huh?
For literature. She's cited for the lofty idealism and vivid imagination and spiritual perception that characterized her writings. And her name was Selma Lagerlöf. And that's going to be pertinent for when we get to the National Day calendar. Her name was Lagerlöf. 1948, the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we've all been greats ever since. There's never been any violations ever since.
And we've always respected humanity. Yay! Genocide's ended.
Yep. All done. 1962, Lawrence of Arabia, which was directed by David Lean and starred Peter O'Toole as T.E. Lawrence, had the world premiere and it became one of the most celebrated epics in the history of cinema. Epic meaning longer than 2.5 hours. 1967, Otis Redding died in an airplane crash. Actually died a day earlier in the airplane crash, but they decided to publish it on the 10th. But there you go. 1982, a treaty codifying the law of the sea was signed in 117 countries. The guys that didn't sign it, we don't know. It's probably easier to list them, right?
We don't know.
1996, President Nelson Mandela signed a new constitution that completed a transition from a long period of white minority rule to full-fledged democracy in South Africa. 1996, that was almost 30 years ago, 29 years ago. 2005, American comedian Richard Pryor died at the age of 65, revolutionized comedy with his frank and controversial style. Richard Pryor, again, he had multiple sclerosis and lost the ability to speak and walk at the end of his life. 2006, Chilean General Augusto Pinochet died while facing charges of human rights abuses. So, good riddance to that pile of shit, whose dictatorial reign, 1974 to 1990, in Chile was marked by murder and torture of political opponents. And of course, we have Henry Kissinger to blame. We have Henry Kissinger, that old bastard that lived to be 100. We have him to blame. Henry Kissinger should have never been put in a position of power. He was totally unqualified. He was kind of a sex addict and kind of a creep. So, and he didn't give a shit about killing people. It didn't bother him at all. I just want to point out that Henry Kissinger was a piece of shit, along with Augusto Pinochet. Oh, I have opponents! We must kill them! All right, 2007, Argentina. In 2007, Argentine politician Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner was sworn into office as Argentina's first female elected president. She succeeded her husband, Nestor Kirchner. Kirchner is a Canadian name, it sounds like. I think that's a Canadian type name. It's like a British Canadian thing. Kirchner. Doesn't sound like you're from Argentina, Kirchner, right? Our featured event, 1932, and the feature of the subject of our Mic drop. Today in history, the Emu Wars. The Australian government officially surrendered on this day in 1932 after a month-long battle against thousands of large flightless birds. They said, fuck it, we're out of here. I'm hungry. They never figured out you could actually eat these birds. And forget the ranching.
I get another win for nature right there, and those are rare.
Right. It's like, we give up. Fuck this shit. All right, in our feature biography, we talked about Emily Dickinson, American poet. She was born on December 10th, 1830. That was nearly 200 years ago. 195 years ago, she was born in Amherst, Massachusetts.
And
died
they just made
May
a book. I just saw that they made a movie about her. I had no idea there was a movie about her.
Oh, cool. I wonder if it features
movie.
Pornography and necrophilia, like the, no necrophilia, as far as I know, in anything but Emily Dickinson. And she died May 15th, 1886, only 55 in Amherst, Massachusetts. She should have lived a lot longer than that. At least should have saw the 20th century, in my opinion. But people, life expectancy in those days wasn't what we expect nowadays. The birthdays today: Ada Lovelace, British mathematician. We did Emily Dickinson. Olivier Messiaen, French composer, born in 1908. 1960, Kenneth Branagh, right? Henry V guy, British actor.
And director.
St. Crispin's Day. The St. Crispin's Day speech, that guy. British actor, director, and writer. Born this day in 1960, turned 65. And it's Bobby Flay, American chef and restaurateur. Bobby Flay, turning 61 today. He was born in 1964. National Day today. It's only two things. Notice I mentioned the lager before. It's National Lager Day. We mentioned that person's name was Lagerine or whatever the hell. And it's also Dewey Decimal System, which we always spend like 5
celebrated.
minutes on. So it's only those two things. It's National Lager and National Dewey Decimal System Day. Those are your days. Your piss pronunciations. That's a Freudian slip. Mispronunciations. No haikus, no limericks. Puns, I've had puns.
Plenty
and
of
your
jokes
stories
and puns.
for weirdness.
Plenty.
Everything for December 10th, 2025 on Before Lager. So slam back some brewskis on your
some broskies, man.
Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm
some
so
broskies.
happy that somebody went out of their way to make a system and to organize books to make it easier for people to read, and then nobody goes in there because it's a boring place where nothing happens. Yay, I love humanity. Aren't we just weird and wacky? Yeah. There's your sarcasm.
And what's the first thing on the chopping block for any city or county, right?
The library. Wait, people are learning stuff.
People just get books. People just buy books, can't they? Just buy books? Yeah, but it's cheaper to borrow them and put them back. No.
I want to be a library police where you go chase people down and say, hey, you've had that book for 20 months. You need to give it back to us. It's a real job, like book detectives. They look up, oh, what happened to this book? It's been missing. Sometimes people die, right? It's not always on purpose, but sometimes people die. They never turn in their books. You gotta go to get them back. They don't belong to you. For our International United Observances, of course, it's going to be Human Rights Day, because that's when we reaffirmed what the human rights are. We wrote them down and said, these are all of them, and we solved all of our problems. Across the world, people are sharing what makes up their everyday essentials, the moments, values, and rights that matter most. So make sure that you celebrate your ability to speak and say shit about your government, or vote even. Leave your house and have a job. Some people do not have these rights. And that's why we need to keep on enforcing these human rights so that everyone on this planet, every human on this planet, is able to have all the same exact possibilities and opportunities as everyone else. There's my little lecture for you. I know I love doing my little lecture.
Right,
this has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish off another Wacky and Weird Wednesday, the third to last one of the year. All wackiness is going to be over. No, I'm just kidding. We will see you tomorrow for our Thursday's 13 list. Please let me know, because we're going to try it tomorrow, right? The new thing where we kind of split the list up. So please let me know what you...
Make list.
Huh?
No, I'll list 7. You list 7, and we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
cross-reference.
but tell me
them
what
on
you want
air.
me to list. Or do you want me to make my own list?
Make your own list. Make a
Okay.
list of 7. Right? I don't need to see
Okay.
it. We'll see it
That's
tomorrow.
fine.
Right?
We'll
all
be
you
back
gotta
with
do.
a new.
It's
We're
not- I
changing
mean,
it up. We're going to be back with
Just at least for the-
Thursday. It's still Thursdays. I guess it's Thursdays 14, but it's still going to be a list.
No.
Huh?
I am planning ahead for the fact that we're going to have duplicates, right?
Okay.
My thing is, we're going to list 7 people, and at least one of them is going to be duplicated. That's my theory. So we'll see.
7 people.
Yeah, you list 7, I list 7, and it'll total 13 because one of them will be a duplicate. I'm just telling you.
Okay. Then we'll see you
Unless you
tomorrow
just-
for this new
unless you
change
just
of
start-
our we'll see how it works. We'll
obscure
be
people.
here tomorrow to see how it works because I don't know how it's going to work either. Make sure you're subscribed
Right.
on YouTube, following on Twitch, turn those notifications on, and of course, if you would like to support us monetarily, you can check out the Patreon in the description. And here is our sad state of humanity mic drop moment.
This was over 90 years ago, so we can't
Yeah.
really.
I just feel like you
rag
shouldn't have
on these
started the war to
people.
begin with, you know?
By 1932,
We gotta grow wheat,
migrations
don't you
from
understand?
southwest
We gotta grow
Australia
wheat in
to
this sand out here, right?
a series of actions that
All those
followed
emus were like,
came
God
from
damn,
the
this free
Emu War.
food! And water, too. They probably had water
It's a
sitting
topic
around in
that's captured
puddles.
the hearts and minds of internet users all over the globe. How did the Australian
They tried this in
army
Africa
lose a
with
war
elephants,
to
too,
This is a
right?
perfect
birds?
example of
While it
humans
may
not
seem comical
refusing to
now,
adapt,
the Great
right?
Emu War, spanning
Refusing
just
to
over
adapt to a
month
new
in
biome,
1932,
saying,
was
no, let's just do the
serious
same
business.
shit we've been doing this whole time,
So
and it's only
how
gonna
did
work,
the
right, guys?
conflict
Human history.
Yep.
Human history is if we can't talk to it, kill it. That's about it. So yeah. And if we can't talk,
After
if we
World
can't
War
talk to it, and it's
many
different. We
returned
kill
Australian
it. There you go.
servicemen were given land by the government in the wheat belt region of Western
Like, look
Australia.
at that. That does
Wheat
not look like
belt
land you should be
starting
growing
life.
weed on.
That didn't quite go to plan.
Nah.
The Great Depression.
Nothing
of the
about
early
this screams, "Hey, grow
1930s
weed
sent
on
wheat
me real
prices
quick."
plummeting, and farmers expanded their crops
Yeah,
as they
no.
looked to muster a profit.
Emu said, "Hey, a buffet.
That's when the emu
A buffet. About time. About time.
So
this place doing a
majestic.
buffet.
So
as many
fierce.
as 20,000 migrating emus found their way onto farms after
So
breeding.
tasty.
In the process,
I mean, there aren't a
bigger than
lot of
chickens.
this is invaluable grain.
historical accounts of humans losing to nature, so.
I can't
As an
imagine.
environmentalist,
You
this
think
makes
you
me
need-
happy.
You think you need a
Soldiers
machine
were
gun to
deployed
kill
with machine
emus? What are you
guns.
afraid of them?
Their
Right?
feathered foes proved
That's just-
elusive. The emus are more than holding their own.
I like this
Read
guy's
one
This is
report
like
from
the
Daily
this is
News
the
dated
original
November
taking
3rd.
my AR out
20
to shoot
emus
all
were
75
reportedly
feral
killed on the
hogs
first day of
meme or
battle,
whatever.
with
This
many
is
more
the
injured.
original.
I love that there's
An ambush
that.
on November 4th
I love that
in
there's actual
July
footage
when a
of it. Like
machine
somebody
gun
took a
jammed
camera. We need to
just
film
12 of
this.
the 1,000
Let us
assembled
film
birds
us
killed.
murdering
When the army
onslaught.
withdrew on
Look at all those
November 8th
emus,
after
so
6 days
many.
of battle,
Right.
2,500
And they're running towards the
rounds
camera,
of
man.
ammunition
Maybe the
had been
camera's
used
just sitting
to
there on a
kill
tripod.
between
That's true.
300
But...
and 500
No, it's
emus.
definitely on a person because
In
it's
the second
moving.
cull, soldiers
Oh,
destroyed
wait.
thousands
Are you
of
sure?
emus
That
before
guy's
the
moving.
fire was poured on December 10.
Oh, the
I'm
guy
gonna
running
chase this
behind
emu.
him.
Now
Yeah, I
the
feel like
war
they
is
could have been
stuck with
farming
legend,
them.
with stories
Maybe.
passed down from
Big
generation
eggs.
to
Oh,
generation.
yeah. Yeah. There's emu farms all over the place, man.
Yeah,
It's just
so
blows
Ralph
my
English's
mind.
father
they already
It's
got
managed
the
to
they've already got
fence them
the
in.
battleground
herding
during the
down.
Emu
It looks
War.
like.
Yeah,
Ralph says
fence
when
them
in
in,
full flight,
right?
the birds
They
do
won't eat your
serious
crops
damage.
because they can't fly.
Like when they
right?
had dry season.
Also,
up
just
in the
find out what they
coastal
naturally
areas,
eat and then grow that,
emus
and then
just
feed them
naturally
that.
Migrate south.
Because you're in the
Of course,
place
yeah,
where
feed
it
'em-
grows.
Wheat or
You don't have to
Feed 'em your
overwater your
byproduct.
wheat.
they're in heaven.
You harvest food, you throw away a lot of
The worst part
byproducts,
about
right?
it
You
I'm,
throw
I'm,
those-
I'm
the
speaking too much sense. I know.
flowers.
It's not
Yeah.
what they eat, it's what
Yeah,
they
no.
fatten. what
Look
they
at they're
just
eating
transplant out of the
sagebrush for
crop
Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
exactly. You could have just
and
grown
all over
sage.
and Play in it and just be a damn nuisance.
Yeah, you're a
In
nuisance. How about
Meriden,
that?
60 kilometers
Hey,
south
happy
of
Humans never
Library
considered
Day! Look at
themselves
that. We
a
even got a
nuisance.
library in the
Look
at
story.
that.
The
Right.
archives, where
Right
he's
on
uncovered
time.
little-known
Dewey
details
Decimal
about
seals
the
old
battle.
numbers? Hell
Including
yeah.
there's
Australia
Dewey
uses
in
them.
his decimal
tried to
system.
pay their tax
Hell
with
yeah.
dead emus.
That's actually how I first found out about the Emu Wars. I was just going through the papers. You look at all the ads and the
She never heard
emu
of it, and she
war.
grew up in
reports and all
Australia,
that. It's
right? She never heard of
interesting
it.
because
She's a
of how they
librarian
wrote.
in
There was no political
Australia,
correctness.
so I'm not
And it was-
ashamed of not
so it
knowing
gets
about
Very
this.
interesting. But I actually saw an article on 2 wheat belt farmers who decided to pay their tax bill or try to pay their tax bill with emus.
Ah,
So then
dead
you do
emus.
research on emus.
I
and
am
then
an
the
emu
wars come out.
expert.
She says talk of Western Australia seceding from the
Delightful.
rest of the
I wish she was
country
my mum.
It would be cool to ride an emu,
contributed
but I don't think they
Going
have
through
the
all the
the
reports,
gait to
it
actually carry a
became
human being.
Clear to me that it
Maybe a
had to be
child,
something
but not
else
a full-grown human
around it,
being.
and that's when I started finding the information that WA was talking about seceding.
Now it's your national bird.
So
Go figure.
Yeah, I
looking
mean they
further,
deserve
and
it because
there's
they won the
reports,
war, right?
saying
That's
that
right. We give up. It's hot out
That was
here.
the
There's problems
concession
in
in
WA.
the surrender.
help
You
them.
must make us
So,
your national
who
animal.
won the war? It's hard to
Considering
say.
the
Some say
temperature
emus
in that
lost the
part
battle
of
but won the war.
Australia, September
Others say
10th
the
is probably
farmers
100
lost,
degrees. They weren't
having used so much ammunition
Yeah.
to kill such few birds.
summertime
One
in
thing's for
Australia.
sure.
I think birds do
Australia
pretty well
greatly
with extreme
underestimated
temperatures.
emus.
Actually, I don't know how, but
They're not warm-blooded, right?
I'm Team Emu. Yeah, Team Emu.
Birds, of course,
I love
are
humanity, but sometimes
dinosaurs.
they need to learn a lesson from nature, and nature has to go, "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?"
the emus. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels: Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.